A ballerina's perspective, from performing with New York City Ballet and Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater to publishing poetry books and mentoring kids and teens. Join us in a weekly discussion with experts to gain mental health clarity and achieve growth in moral consciousness. Give our show a 5 stars, comment, share, and come along for the ride. Welcome back to the Growth, Grace, and Gratitude podcast with our special guest, Indra Rinzler, a lifetime spiritual seeker, healer, teacher, and offers life readings for clients. Astrology and the Enneagram of personality are the main modalities that he shares. He's been studying astrology and spirituality for 50 years, help clients to awake them to who they really are. He works to help people to live beyond their conditioned stories and to live more in the moment. And today we will talk a little bit about how to seek the spiritual path to find more joy and happiness. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I think it's a great topic of connecting to spirituality and unburdening yourself from all these narratives that we kind of pick and choose as we grow up and we surround ourselves with different environments, different people. We kind of sometimes follow other people or other narratives and embrace that temporarily until we go on to the next one. And it's like whatever is the most popular trend, we tend to choose that belief or that vision for ourselves momentarily. What do you think is the purpose of the spiritual journey? And is there like an endpoint or goal that people should kind of look up to or aspire to?
Wow. Okay, here we go. I think, I have to say the spiritual journey is also a narrative. And maybe it's a better narrative, but it's still a narrative. And
Yes.
I do believe that it's a narrative that you can follow along with any path. Whatever path you take, it has the spiritual, and it doesn't have to be the narrative that is while your focus is the spiritual path. What you do on the spiritual path can be your own is your own development, and not necessarily that there's a particular goal. So at the end, I don't think it ends. I think that thinking that there's an end shows our lack of maturity, and so there was no beginning, there is no end, and I think that the value is the happiness. I don't think it's about achievement. I don't think there's a purpose. I'm not much of a purpose person. I think that purpose is a bit oversold. I think that it's that evolution is to grow, and in that growth there is no goal. The goal is in the mind. It's in the personality that it thinks goal. But I think that it is to become, and there is no end to becoming, and so it's a continual dance of reacting to the moment, which I thought where you were going to go. That being in the moment to moment, and that's the goal. That's the goal in itself. And so, what is the result of that? Nothingness. You attain nothingness, which sounds. It may not sound like it has sizzle, but the reality of it is that when you get there, it's actually enough.
If you're ready to shake off that daily stress, come join us for online beginner, adult, ballet, and yoga classes each week to connect with the flow of movement and the art of ballet into perfect synergy. Come as you are and learn to love your body a little bit more and gain strength and flexibility with each class. All are welcome. Sign up at balletartsmovement.com tellovital@gmail.com. First class free. Tellovital supports focus, energy, immunity, sleep, recovery, and resilience. Start feeling better today on a cellular level with zeolite, super green juice, micronutrient gut support, and more. Get over 50% off your first order for TelloVital. Link in the description of the podcast. Very interesting and inquisitive perspective. I personally always thought, yeah, it's like being in the moment. That's where you can access pure joy. That's where you can access so many parts of yourselves and feel kind of your essence. And in terms of happiness, I do think happiness is beautiful, but at times it can also be fleeting, right? Like it could be part of our waves or moods.
Yes, that's not the happiness I'm talking about. That's not the happiness based on outside events. It's the happiness of neutrality, that everything is perfect as it is and that nothing needs to change.
And how can people connect to those parts of themselves to find that happiness that is consistent and not relying so heavily on external factors?
Well, this is wonderful because you give me the answer, and the answer is you got to get low, you got to let go of it's yours. That it's not my peace, it's not my wisdom, it's not my path, it's not my purpose, that and it's not my happiness. It's the that you, when you realize that you can that what you're really doing is you're tapping into something that's already there, that is greater than us, but also us. But it's already there, and it's our awakening. Like they talk about, you're a little younger than I am, and it's like, so like with the parents, it's like some we get to a place where the parents get smarter, like they were okay at 12, and then they turn the dumbest parents in the world, and then there's 22, 23, 30, they start getting a little smarter, and it's like it's us who are way. It's not that they've changed, it's our own position and point of view that's changed. And so how you attain it though you don't attain it, how you achieve it though you don't achieve it, how you open to it, is to get rid of the blocks that are blocking the reality of that, the peace that's already there, the happiness that's already there. It's not from me, it's through me, that I'm blocking the I'll never be happy gene, and then suddenly we're happy. But it's a inward process.
And it's interesting how you connect astrology and Enneagram of personality. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that influences the spiritual path?
Yeah, sure. So the Enneagram is a Greek term. The teaching isn't really Greek, but the term comes from Greek, and it means nine-sided figure, and it's three geometric shapes that combine, that yields 9 points on a circle. That's what Enneagram means, nine-sided figure. And these 9 points can be related to anything. They were originally done as planets. They were done as foods. They were done as musical notes. But in the 60s, this was about 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. And in the 1960s, somebody attuned personality styles to these points.
Unlock your best life with Soul app. Book a holistic wellness experience with a trained guide and start changing your life today with compassion practices, inner healing, food and diet, and so much more. Tap into a healthier and happier life with the #1 purposeful living app in the US, the Soul app, link in the description of the podcast. Sanger Daniel's online seminar promoting a positive message of self-healing with bioenergy work together with live seminars and remote coaching. Use code BIO20 for a 20% discount for our audience. Link in the description of the podcast.
And these personality styles became the nine, the Enneagram of personality, the 9 personality styles. And the teaching is that there are only 9 personality styles, that we can break it down, that these 9, and that we radiate from our core at one of them. And it's a strategy that helps us to navigate life. And this strategy has the low side, which is, of course, mostly what we talk about because we're trying to get out of it. That means that we are, and normally I go through them. Okay, so let me get a little cooler here. Okay, so there are three um, centers of intelligence or instincts. That's anger, emotion, and fear. And while we have all three of them in us, one of them is at our core. The anger types are the 9 points are given numbers, and there's no hierarchy. Eight isn't better than four; it's just a number. They also have names, but of course we don't agree on the names. So anger points are 8, 9, and 1, and there are also three reactions to energy coming toward us. There are those that go outward to it. They're outward. They're more extroverted. There are those that pull back from it. They're more introverted, and there are those that have a neutral position. We call it an active neutral position of observing before behavior. So there actually are neither, by this standard, they're neither extroverted nor introverted. They are actually in between. And they say to me, I could never figure out, because they can be either one, but they aren't actually either one. They are a middle grade that looks inside to observe before they move. The outward ones go toward, and the inward ones pull back, and these kind of check quality control in the middle. Okay, so for anger, 8 outward is the boss. This is the most assertive personality on the scale. We call it Jack Nicholson and Queen Latifah, the strongest personality, the assurance. I love to tease them that you say to them that you can't practice a song, but you have to sing it in front of 200 people, and they will say, why are there only 200 people? Okay, that's not me, but that is the 8, and that is the strongest. They have all offense. They don't have any defense, but they protect the teddy bear in their heart that they don't want you to know that they have, by all offense out. That's the 8. The 9 is called the peacemaker. The peacemaker is neutral anger, and they accommodate other people. They can't have disharmony in their nervous system is really triggered by disharmony in their system. So they will be the mediators. They're also called the mediator. They will go between parents. When parents are fighting and they're like 6 years old, they will be the peacemaker, because they need that quietness in their environment in order to feel peace, and they accommodate other people. Their story is that they disengage from themselves, and they say, well, everything's fine, even though they're disengaged from themselves, but they are merging with other people, accommodating other people, and not taking care of their own needs. That's what they have to learn. Okay, inward anger is the one. It's called the perfectionist. They need to do things the right way. At the core is that they don't feel they feel inadequate and unworthy, and so how they strategize it is by making sure that they do everything the right way. So how do they know what the right way is? They make it up, and it's totally changeable. Okay, so that's the anger type. So now you have emotion based 2, 3, and 4. Emotion outward is called the helper. They go around helping other people. Their big challenge is to take care of themselves. They can have they have shame. 2, 3s, and 4s all have shame, but they also have pride. The pride is the inability or unwillingness to admit their own suffering, and so they take care of everybody, but they don't take care of themselves. That's the 2. And you're shaking your head a lot. We know all of these people. You recognize them, okay? So the 3 is the achiever. This is emotion neutral. They are neutral. They are the most assertive, but they are not outwardly oriented. And we use for the 3 the achiever. These are the cheerleaders and the student council presidents and the quarterback and all of the big people on campus and high school. They're the achievers. It's Don Draper. If you're a Mad Men, if you remember the TV program, which is that 20 years already, I don't remember. So Dan, he's the bad boy that always never truthful, always dishonest, and always trying to achieve and manipulating for that achievement, for that recognition. Okay, so that's the three. Four is your dancers, because I read it. I heard you talk a little bit. It's the dancers. It's the four. It's the most beautiful. They don't feel the most beautiful, but they're the most beautiful, most expressive. They're the ones that use adjectives on Facebook. They're called the individualist. They need to go by their own drummer. Bob Dylan is a four. He's never going to sing the same song twice the same way. He's going to sing the same song, but it's never going to sound like the album. And he's very happy with that. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince, all the fours, all the creative peoples that are so well respected, that have a tremendous burden inside, because they feel everything and they're sensitive to everything, and they're the ones that say sadness is okay, that they feel sad and it's okay. You don't have to fix it. It doesn't need to be fixed. It's just a feeling. And they can feel happiness in things that the rest of us feel wouldn't be happy inducing, but they can make it work because it's aliveness that they're expressing, that they're alive. They're a conduit from the divine. Okay, so now we get into the fear types: 5, 6, and 7. 5, inward fear. They need to know how things work in order to feel secure. That again, it's about not being adequate, and so they do that by knowledge. That when they understand how things work, incredible minds, Buddha mind, a lot of wisdom, need to share that wisdom. They're inward focused. Their a symbol would be the computer nerd guy that we say get a life. That's a 5. That's a 5. And Meryl Streep, actress, is a 5. Very creative and intelligent, using her intelligence in her to create her characters. 6 is the loyalist, most anxious, a lot of anxiety, feeling a danger everywhere. Incredible intuition, not very well directed intuition, but incredible intuition. They have hypersensitivity that can feel everything, but they because of their own feeling of lack of security and their own mental skill. Fear and mental go together. Mental skill, but not the intuitive ability to realize that they forget their successes, and they are anxious and have anxiety about every possible future event. And 7, I'm 7. Last but not least, the enthusiast. We our thing is greener pastures. If some is good, then more is better. And we're the ones that have trouble with commitment. Stereotypically, a lot of travelers, always on the move. It's always, there's something better over there, but the reality of it is that I don't want to feel my feelings here. If you ask us what do we feel, we look like the deer caught in the headlights. So those are the 9 points.
Wow, amazing. What a big kind of expressive way to see so many different parts of like our psyche. It's so helpful, I think, because when we're unaware of part of our personality, it can kind of hinder us to actually achieve things. Sometimes when we're going through moments of confusion, or we're not sure what's our purpose or which direction to go, I think this can actually help really activate parts of our personality, especially when we are shifting into spirituality and wanting to know. There's this craving that people actually want to connect to themselves and their personality that is unseen or it's not fully developed. So I think this is a pretty cool way to connect to that part of self-discovery and rediscover parts of yourself, especially after trauma and a lot of challenges, lost their spark or want to get it back or want to understand it again. So I think going through the Enneagram would be interesting to kind of find themselves again.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is that the patterning of the personality, and that's why the people write books about it, and like people read their type and they say, how do they know me so well? They know you, they know us well. The teachings know us well because the patterning and the behavior goes is so integrated into our being, and that they figured it out. It's one of those, how did like astrology, how did they figure it out? Well, somebody did.
Podpitch is the first and only software that finds, writes, and sends pitches to podcast hosts from your actual email address. Podpitch will make sure you get podcast bookings, guaranteed. Link in the description of the podcast. ClickFunnels easily build any type of online business and sales funnel in record time, no matter what your product, service, or niche, without any tech design or experience whatsoever. Try the ClickFunnels 14-day free trial. Link in the description of the podcast.
And it's the, I believe that it unwinds the 5,000 years of the Judeo-Christian tradition, that understanding your Enneagram point and understanding the ways of your behavior and the motivation behind the behavior, that not only do we get the behavior and we don't want to get stuck in the behavior. That's not for the psychologists. They're really happy, like like they're I'm going to use the analogy, the pig, the pig in the slop. They're really happy they've got behavior, but that doesn't really satisfy the spiritual side, which is to let go of the motivation behind the behavior. And the behind the behavior, as I expressed to you, for many of them is the for the seven, the seeking is because of the inner emptiness. The two words that put total fear is inner emptiness. And four would love inner emptiness, and everybody else, but the way that it works is that's the seventh trigger, and that doesn't mean that anybody else is going to be. I mean, they may get triggered a little bit, but not the same way. I mean, it's wonderful. I can have a little bit of envy, but fours, envy is their core trigger, and that's it's just the way that it works. So it's the conditioning that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. We're able to wipe it away in one moment, theoretically, in one lifetime, in a few years, by understanding and studying the nature of our behavior and the motivation behind our behavior, in order to release the core triggers, to release the triggers of our the core triggers of what triggers us in the moment.
And it's so interesting how sometimes we have like so lessons where we connect with, if like somebody's a peacemaker, somebody would be having a lot of anger, and it's like they have to try to work together or try to figure out how to make the relationship work. And it's also interesting to kind of like evaluate your friendships and people around you, like who are you and who are they, and how you feed off of each other.
Well, it's one of those it can turn into a parlor game as soon as you get into it, and you get a little information that is very powerful, and all of a sudden you start typing everybody, and it's like, who are you? But the thing is that once you understand that you strike me as a four or a five, and that when we get to the core of what who you are, and the understanding, there's like it's like the sacred handshake for the sorority or fraternity, now I understand, and it's like, once you understand, then the people, it's like your bratty brother all of it becomes grows up to become a handsome guy. It's like it's like you see people differently, you see yourself differently, and you understand other people differently, and all of a sudden you realize that their nauseating habits are beyond are in fact are understandable, and are in fact beyond their control. And so then we develop more compassion and more understanding for other people, and when we do it for other people, then it develops in ourselves too.
That is beautiful. Yes, exactly. And I think that's where our consciousness starts to awaken more, and that clarity comes into focus. And that's where our wisdom is birthed, and we're able to accept ourselves and people, like the mirror effect. When we're able to find gratitude for ourselves, we're able to be grateful for other people, because we see our imperfections and we're able to embrace them in a certain way, and also hopefully work on them to be better if we don't like them. And we also give the benefit of the doubt to other people that they're also doing their best and to help each other out. I think that's totally the goal, to connect with people and to grow together and to help each other out to be better people, whatever your personality is, because we all have different personalities and they shift. Sometimes you become one extreme or you tune into one part of your personality more so. And I think our personalities are ever changing, even within a given like type. We have so many different frequencies of expression, so it is interesting.
So the reality of it is that we are not our personality. It's who we think we are, but it's not who we are. But the game is that you've got to figure out what the personality is, because you need to figure out what it is that you have to release in order to figure out who you really are. It's way
Exactly.
beyond Monopoly. It's way beyond Clue. It's even beyond Shoots and Ladders. I mean, it's really a board game. It is the board game. It is the original board game.
That's fantastic. Yes, exactly. And where can people connect with you and see your content and everything that you are sharing?
I have a website, indrarinzler.com, and that's the best place to check me out. Also, Facebook. I'm on Facebook under my name. The thing about this personality is that while there are a lot of commonalities that we can discuss in the Enneagram, the way that it relates to the astrology is that there are also some differences. That we have our own expression of this particular personality, and while all ones or twos or threes are going to have some things in common and some behaviors in common, they're also kind of going to have some differences. And the astrology that I read, the Enneagram configure, I can in the astrology configuration, I can see the Enneagram at work. And that the way that the planets line out when you get into astrology, that every chart, while there are a lot of similarities, and there are configurations which have meaning, they're put together in a way like that are unique. It's like so the even if you have a stellium, which is three or four planets in one house, everybody, even if two people have the same stellium, they're going to have them of different planets, and they're going to be in different houses, and they're going to be in different signs. And so the combinations, even with 15 or 20 combinations that you might look for in a reading, that combinations in certain ways and patterns. The fact is that there's an unlimited amount of ways that they can actually express themselves, and that becomes really interesting to unwind those stories.
That's amazing. Do twins have the same though? Do twins share the same?
Okay, so here I had twins one time. Very interesting. So it's basically the same chart, born a couple of minutes apart. But what happened was, and I may not have this exactly right, but I can give you the story is that one of them, I think it was the son, he had Mars in the first house. And Mars in the first house accentuated for him, and he became a one, the perfectionist. That he wanted, that he held back, that his Mars was held back, and he needed to do it the right way in order to be able to that was his way of projecting himself into the world. Now the sister had also had Venus in the seventh house. Of course, her brother did too, but it activated for her, and she became a four, which was the Venus, which was about her integrity with other people, and feeling and feeling shame that she wasn't worthy with other people. She had the ability to be perfectionist with the Mars in the first house, but it wasn't her thing. What triggered for her, which was, they were opposite from each other, what triggered for her was the Venus, which was triggered, and then it became judging other people and comparing. Was she beautiful enough? Was she good enough? Did she do it well enough? What will people think? And it was all image qualities, and we call it a emotion bodied, emotional thinking based for the four. And the brother got to the one and didn't really play from there. And I thought it was amazing to because I had sort of wondered, and here was an opportunity to check it, and it's like it could have gone either way. There's no reason that it was logical that one of them could have picked the Venus and one of them could have picked the Mars with the exact same chart, and we do occasionally see people that most people have one enneagram and you keep it your whole life, and most people will figure it out. Sometimes it's instantaneous, sometimes it takes a little while, but there are people that will never get it. And that's like the twin souls, that I could be a one or I could be a four, and it could go either way, and there's no rightness in that. It's just whichever one gets accentuated, and there comes to a place where they're equally available for accentuation.
Amazing. That's so interesting. It's like the nature versus nurture, what is activated in somebody, and it's a very interesting journey to witness.
I would imagine past karma. I mean, at that point, because it's already it's at born. It's already at birth. It's already set at birth, and so it could be past karma, and it could just be then. It's not the parents. I mean, maybe from their genes, but not from their way they bring them up. They didn't pick
Right.
a one in four. They were already set.
What a wonderful conversation. Indra, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Such an inspired topic. I think our listeners are really going to appreciate this perspective to learn more about their personality and hopefully to help them feel a sense of oneness within themselves so they can go out into the world and embrace their personalities and to feel more inspired to be their best self. So, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Well, you're very welcome. I wanted to give two free offers to people. If they want to write me, Indra Rinzler at gmail.com, I will send you for free offers, two free offers. I'll send you your astrology, your Vedic astrology chart. I'm a Vedic astrologer, the
Wow.
astrology of India. So I will send you the chart. It's not a free reading, but I will make a couple of comments. That's the first offer. And the second offer is that I will send you an Enneagram test, also free. Takes 5 or 10 minutes. It won't hit it for everybody, but it will definitely for everybody. It'll give you something to think about, and we'll start honing you in on a few possible numbers. For many of you, it will nail your number for you. For others, it's a little bit more work, and that's just the nature of the karma for this life. It's neither good nor bad.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. That's a great gift for our listeners, which is so exciting. Hopefully, more people will connect to the Enneagram and connect a part of their personality to help them awaken and become more conscious of their everyday life.
I'm sure that's going to happen. Thank you so much for having me.